It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
Cinema Verite.
Yeah, that's what this is. This is Podcast Verite. Really, my goal, Brian, every episode is to make it so that everything is A-OK, and all I have to do is clip the front and the back and put it out there.
There you go.
Like you edit it in your head, like you know when you hit the point of diminishing returns and it's time to call it.
Yeah, and I think it's sometimes the first takes are the best too.
Well, you would know, you're a musician. And this is Car Con Carne. Car Con Carne is a Q101 podcast. Car Con Carne, sponsored by Easy Automation, easy-automation.net. Easy for me to say. Transform your living space, your home, with cutting-edge home automation. Experience seamless control over audio, video, lighting, climate, security, and more. Everything you can control with the help of my friends at Easy Automation. Embrace the future of smart living. It's your home, your rules. Get a quote by visiting easy-automation.net or give my friend Dan a call. 630, this is his personal phone number, 630-730-3728. Brian, you should give Dan a call. You'd like each other. You're both music heads. 630-730-3728. It is Car Con Carne in front of Red Hot Ranch over by Ashland and Berry and the Lakeview-ish. Is this Lakeview technically?
Yeah, I think so. Lakeview High School is right down the street.
Yeah. All right, in the Lakeview neighborhood of Chicago. Just a few weeks ago, we saw Violet Grohl take the stage with her dad, Dave Grohl, along with Chris Novoselic and Pat Smear, and they played All Apologies by Nirvana. Here in Chicago, friend of the show, iconic troubadour Ike Riley has recently expanded his band to include his 3 sons. And this is a thing. The gift, the thrill, the occasional curse of music is passed down from parents to their kids. And that's what we have on display.
In your case, it's going to be a curse, Hazel. Sorry,
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Your cross to bear. So we first came to know Brian Krumm through his band Great Crusades. And more recently, he stepped out with his first solo project. Brian Krumm and his Barfly Friends released on the wonderful Pravda
Records, yeah.
in 2023. Now, in 2025, as I live and breathe, Brian's daughter Hazel Krumm finds herself making her way as an independent artist. Her debut EP, Backroads, came out at the end of last year. So this episode is a celebration of family,
Yes.
and jeans, and music, and in our case, Hazel, hot dogs.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to eat as we talk,
Okay.
as we do. Brian, you said you had a question as we got started?
Oh yeah, it was just James. Thanks very much for having us here. It's
Of course. It's long overdue.
prestigious honor, prestigious show.
I'm sure this feels prestigious in my unwashed car in the dead of winter.
If
on
only these
Ashland Avenue.
walls could talk of the car here, parked in front of the Red Hot Ranch. Oh no, but I was looking over your list of episodes earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Past 1,000 episodes. That is quite impressive. Hazel and I were talking about that earlier.
It's stubborn tenacity.
Yeah. I mean, don't stop. Keep doing it. Please keep doing it. I love the podcast. And but I did notice, conspicuously, there were some artists that were interviewed more than once, and some restaurateurs, I should say. Hot Dog was one of them.
Sure.
And then I noticed John Langford.
Yes.
My old buddy David Singer.
Sure.
And some other folks, but I noticed the name of the artist Tiffany also was a multiple
Two-time guest.
two-time guest.
No, I'm sorry, 3-time guest.
3 times. Whoa! I'm not sure if Hazel's familiar with Tiffany, but I just am intrigued by Tiffany appearing on the show. Especially, my local connection is that she, when I was in high school, probably about the year 1989 or 88, at Tiffany's height of popularity, the school that I was at, Collinsville High School in Collinsville, Illinois, outside of St. Louis, won a contest on a local radio station that Tiffany came to the
That's
school
amazing.
and performed in our gymnasium. And the whole school just went...
Oh, yeah.
I've heard this story.
I bet you have.
And I think We're Alone Now was probably her biggest hit. Hazel.
It was.
But
Okay.
so how did Tiffany end up on?
Friend of a friend, and we did our first interview at Caddyshack in Rosemont.
Okay.
Because she was staying nearby. She was playing the Allstate Arena with Debbie Gibson, I think, that weekend.
Nice.
And so it worked out great. So the next time she came to town, we connected, and I went to her Airbnb and we recorded outside there. And then she came to Austin's Fuel Room like 1 or 2 years ago, and I'm like, hey, you want to do this again? She's like, sure. So
that's fun.
yeah,
Very.
she's great. So for context, Hazel, I think, and Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, I probably am. I'm pretty sure that I Think We're Alone Now, which was her number one song, cover of the Tommy James song. I think that song is the one that knocked Michael Jackson out of the number one spot.
Oh,
whatever that song was that year.
Whoa.
I think she holds that distinction. So
I did not know that.
yeah, so for later generations, for Gen Z especially, that has no connection to, they know Michael Jackson.
Right.
Well, I will say that when she appeared at Council High School, she was the most down-to-earth.
She's the coolest
person that you could. She gave out autographs. She not only performed, during a very cool show in the gymnasium. She also waited for an hour or so while the kids lined up and wanted to get autographs.
She has always, since her youth, been very respectful of her fan base. So I'm going to show, if you're watching on video, the hot dog. This is classic, like Depression style. The hot dog is buried under a bed of fries. So as I was explaining to the Krumm family earlier, it's kind of like an escape room for a hot dog. You got to find your way out of the French fries to actually get to the dog. It's barely poking through here, and I know this is going to be horribly messy to eat as we talk.
I'm going to bite into the cheeseburger right now.
Well, as you're biting in, I'll throw a question to you, Brian, because we knew you first. No disrespect, Hazel.
None taken.
Famously, your approach for your solo album, Just Fade Away, got a lot of attention. You wrote it during the pandemic, and the basic idea, and you can correct me if I don't have the details right, was every day you would do a shot of whiskey at maybe 5 o'clock,
That's right.
quitting time, and you'd write a song.
That is correct.
You amassed.
And I would highly recommend that for any young singer-songwriter. No, but
This was like 20. This was 25 days.
It was 25 days, and it was after 25 days. I decided that was a long enough period of time to be drinking whiskey every day. But also, I did come up with 25 songs out of that little experiment.
11 of which made the album.
Yes. That was encouraged by my wife, so she was in on the game. It was her idea, so I can blame
Really?
it all. I can blame it all on her.
So, all right, first question. The 14 songs that didn't make it, were they not good, or are they just kind of waiting to get called off the bench
They
at some
are
point?
still in the mix, believe it or not, and that they may end up on. They may end up being songs from my other band, which is the Great Crusades. Some of them are being recorded right now, actually, for the Barfly Friends. So there's a little bit of cross functionality from some of those leftover songs. We also have a big batch of brand new songs that we're working on as we speak over at Joyride Studio in Humboldt Park and at various home studios as well. So they are still out there, and unless there was something about them that I just couldn't move on with them, I definitely wanted to give them all a proper recording session and see if they saw the light of day.
Was your dad always like writing and doing that when you were a kid?
I mean, yeah, that's like entirety of my childhood is growing up watching him and all of his musical friends play. So it's just like a normalcy for me.
Did that make you want to do music, or did that turn you off of music? And
No.
I don't say that facetiously, because kids don't want to do what their parents do.
No, I mean, it definitely made me want to start doing music, and I've just always kind of been singing obnoxiously, and all my friends kind of get annoyed at me because of all, like, I'm always singing. So I think that and my like annoying personality and a combination of my dad and watching that's definitely what drew me in.
I've never thought of you as annoying. She actually
When it comes to
came
music.
home from summer camp one summer and had started to play ukulele at the camp, and I had been planning all these years prior to that to actually, give her some guitar lessons and this is how you do it, Hazel. This is a D, this is a A, this is a E, and she came home with this ukulele. and just started writing tunes on that. It was incredible. Sorry if I'm embarrassing you, Hazel.
No, I just forgot about that.
But then she switched, as any respectful, guitarist knows, you eventually switch off the ukulele to the guitar. But she did switch to guitar and then just continued to write tunes, and I was super happy that, she found joy in that.
Well, I had that bright pink guitar that I got for like my 6th birthday,
Right.
and I
From
knew
my friend Steven, yeah.
I knew like a solid 3 chords, and then like you said, I didn't really get into it until summer camp, and then ukulele is much easier than the guitar, so I think that kind of just like, if I can do this, why not try? That was probably-
Not to talk badly of the ukulele.
No.
And Brian, when did you realize, like, oh shit, I think my daughter actually has aptitude for this?
Very early. Some of the very first songs that she wrote were we're talking 12 years old, I think.
We sat down and wrote that one song that you ended up putting on one of your albums.
I did co-op one of her.
No way.
One of her songs, but I was, to my defense, it ended up on a great Crusades record, but it was called "Thanks for Asking," and it's out in the world. You can hear it on the streaming services or whatever. But I was recording a demo for her to sing the lead vocal on, and I ended up just doing a guide vocal myself. The rest of the guides in the band said, "Oh man, we love that song. It's got to be on the record." And Hazel was kind of like, "You stole my song. Thanks a lot."
I don't even remember being mad about it. I just kind of let it happen.
Well, yeah, you were kind of like, "Oh, it's going to be on your record?"
I was like
Oh.
10, 11.
But I think I realized very early that she had something very special. Not only her voice, but also her songwriting, her knack for songwriting. I think was right there very early on.
And one of the reasons why I asked the question I asked, I found with kids, telling them what you think they should do or what they should get into never works out well. But if you find something that they're into that's cool, support that and encourage that.
Sure.
Because they don't want to be pushed, or like they don't want their parents' idea to be their idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was kind of like that with Hazel's record. The EP that called Backroads that came out in October of 2024. I was like,
He's so good at the marketing part of this. Like he's so like.
I've been
prepared.
practicing. I've been practicing for this podcast all day. No,
Me too.
no. When it came out, I was like, okay, well, the next step, Hazel, is we're gonna have to do a record release show, and Hazel was kind of like, oh, that's okay. We don't need to do that right now. And I was kind of like, what? No, this is. And Hazel was kind of like, yeah, that's kind of your thing, Dad. That's, I love you, but we don't have to rush around and do it.
I like to take my time.
Yeah, we did end up doing the equivalent of a record release party in December at Martyrs with some other great bands, and Hazel blew the roof off the house.
I mean, you've already played with Lydia Cash. You played Martyrs. I mean, the bar's been set pretty high for your live performance career.
It's been a lot of fun. I mean, I actually do have pretty bad stage fright, or at least I thought that I did before playing the first gig. And after it was over, I was like, why do I think I'm nervous about it? Because once I actually get up there, I was like, completely
once
fine.
you lock it in,
right? It's fine. It's completely different than I expect it to be. And I did musical theater throughout all of middle school, and so I'm like, that's not this playing stuff that I actually like is not nearly as humiliating as musical theater. So it's actually fun.
Does your dad tell dad jokes?
Tell dad jokes? I think so. He also he kind of just makes random noises or sings a random song. It's true. I like it though. It's it's the musical aspect of him coming.
I think the daughter takes after the dad. Is this the first daughter-dad interview you've done?
It has to be. Actually, technically no.
Oh, no?
Many years ago.
You interviewed your own daughter.
I interviewed my own daughter for Take Your Children to Work Day.
I like it.
But I didn't have video rolling. I didn't want to put her on camera before she was 18, all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
But the audio is still somewhere deep in the recesses of my website, carquincarney.com.
There you go.
All right, so Hazel, it's the pandemic. The world's ending. Everything's on fire. Dad's in the study doing a shot of bourbon every day at 5
I
o'clock.
didn't know that was happening.
Okay.
That was my first hearing of this story. I was trying to act nonchalant, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Wait, what?
I didn't know that's how you wrote the album.
That was a little experiment I did.
Wait, you really didn't know
I
that?
didn't know that. No, I didn't.
Usually the other part of that is that I would do it every day before either making dinner or doing something around the house after I finish, my day job work, my editorial work. I would usually give myself 1 hour to try to write at least, a good chunk of a song.
That's good discipline, by the way.
It did. Yeah, it really helped me a lot because it really had me focus. And then after that hour, after that 6 o'clock would come up, I would start making dinner or, we would start making dinner as a family or do something more family-based because...
Mm-hmm.
But it really did help a ton with, being kind of locked in the house and discouraged to go out of the house.
I remember you sitting outside, like on the porch,
Oh,
doing
yeah.
it
Yeah,
every
that's
now
true.
and then.
Yeah.
But
Sitting
Well,
on the-
I'm starting to feel weird that I have to be the one to tell you.
no, I mean it's making sense a little bit in my head now. Like I've heard rumors of this, but now it's like an actual storytelling. So I mean, I'm impressed.
You can also do the same thing with a shot of chocolate milk or a shot of orange juice.
Well,
It does
that's
not
what I-
have to be alcohol-based.
That's what
Kids.
I was going to ask. Did the alcohol actually help, or was it just kind of like a red herring? Like
It was just a way to get into the process. It's just a. I don't think I've never been of the school that thinks you have to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol or any kind of substances to be creative. So
that's a good lesson for you kids.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because Hazel's in the car, or that young people might be listening.
I mean, I wouldn't know.
Good answer, Hazel.
Exactly.
Good answer.
Nice.
I do like the song "Barfly Friends."
Yes.
It provides essentially a definition for what they are. People who you maybe don't want to hang out with when the sun is out and you're living your day life.
Yeah, and maybe they, some of them are your, very good friends, and then some of them, at least in this song, might be looking for more of a relationship, like maybe even more of a love interest, to not give away the entire story of the song, but yeah, you kind of, it's more common that you would see them in the nighttime. And then in the confines of what used to be like a smoky atmosphere.
Yes. Are you a fan of Dad's music?
I do. I mean, I love Dad's music. I made all my friends listen to it when it first.
Did you really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did.
I did too. I think I got some of your Insta friends and your.
Oh yes.
and
All of my friends are following the Barfly Friends Instagram.
Some of the few followers that I have on Spotify and Apple Music are Hazel's friends.
is
that,
true.
That she made them click
Follow
that
up, yep.
follow button. Whereas Hazel has had a lot better luck on the Spotify and the streaming
Goes up and
services.
down. Uh-huh.
She had more than 15,000 spends on Backroads.
Now the whole
and
album has more than 20,000
20,000?
streams.
Barfly Friends are circling somewhere in the lower thousands.
That's okay.
But hey,
But those lower thousands are really super interested and they love what you do, and
Yeah.
they're quality low thousands.
Right.
Yeah, this isn't wasted effort.
yeah, but please do go ahead and follow us on Spotify when you get a chance.
Brian Krumm and his Barfly Friends. Hazel, Backroads, let's talk about that. This is a trio of
Yep.
kind of dreamy
Yeah.
Americana
I would
songs.
say so.
I have a daughter your age-ish. I don't know how you found this sound and this type of music.
Yeah, I mean, I say that my whole, like, those three songs are kind of a collection of, like, kind of all the music that I've been listening, like, to throughout high school. Because Backroads, the title track song, is actually, like, I wrote that when I was 13 and a half, 14. And so, I mean, that's, like, technically only a 3-year difference, but, like, it's kind of weird for me listening back to it, knowing that I wrote it at 14, but then the production elements of it are also that kind of, like, what I'm listening to now, and it all kind of just like blends together is how I think that like sound kind of came together.
So for your first time recording, how did you know when a song was done?
Well, actually, first time we recorded, I think it was Backroads. First time we recorded it, we had like what my dad and like Chris Motor, who recorded and produced the album, we thought it was pretty solid, but I kept listening to it and I kept kind of hating it. So I was like, can we re-record?
A true artist.
Basically,
Yes.
I basically asked to re-record the entire vocal part of that, and I mean, we did it, and I kind of just listened to it over and over and over until I'm satisfied with it. That's at least the vocal aspect of that is definitely tedious, but I
And
like
then
it.
she went in and did a lot of harmony vocals,
Right, yeah.
with herself. So she really got creative in the studio with Christian. Christian Motor was the producer of the record, and we did a lot of work just, at his home studio that is great, great setting. And
So
then
good.
we also recorded some in our basement, so.
I love technology and the fact that you can do that without thinking twice about it.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you can do a radio show in your car if you try hard
I mean,
enough.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've got those 3 songs down. Did you, like Brian Krumm and his Barfly Friends, leave some stuff on the table, or?
I mean, I like to say that I'm kind of always in a state of like writing. I don't have any songs like in the studio currently, but my audio, like on my the like audio recording app on my phone has over like 1,000 recordings, which that's not 1,000 individual songs. That's like
Right.
20 per whatever. But
I find this is really common with artists.
yeah,
Like if you went into their voice apps, you would hear all these different directions,
Oh, yeah.
ideas,
Oh,
and
yeah.
flights of fancy.
if you scroll down far enough, it's like I'm 8 years old and I'm like humming into that app.
It's
really-
super helpful.
It is,
So-
it is. And now they added the feature where you can layer it, so they used to not be able to do this, but now I can like plan out harmonies on the demos before I actually
You can
Really?
multi-track on the
Yes.
voice app.
And you
That's
haven't been able to do that before. But I was really excited. None of my friends got
Nice.
it, but
So, okay, you're sitting on a lot of ideas. Mm-hmm. When do you want to do more? Because you're going to school. Like,
Yes.
We're catching you at an interesting time, like life change period.
the goal is definitely to do more before I actually leave. So like before that, like August, have something ready to be out before I leave for college for sure. It's kind of where I'm at right now. But now I'm kind of in the phase where I need to like either pick some of the ones that I don't love as much and tweak them, or just like keep writing until I have songs that I'm very confident in, like the ones that I had for this past album.
I will say that I have heard some of the demos just on the iPhone recordings, and she was playing one of them on the way back from a studio session
Oh,
that we
yeah.
did, and I was like, "Is this Cave Town?" I didn't know they had new music out, and she was like, "No, this is me." And
That's awesome.
I said Cave Town, not necessarily because it sounded like Cave Town, but because the guitar was just like really impressive, and it sounded like an actual released recording. And I was like, she was like, "No, this is my my tune."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Whoa, we gotta work on that one," you know.
Well, I love. I mean, this is a great start. It really is. And again, for someone your age, and I bring up the age mainly because genre-wise, I don't normally hear this coming from Gen Z, like this kind of world-aware sensibility. So you've locked into something cool.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is your voice too. You know, Hazel's
Yeah.
voice is just really captivating and really moving.
Oh, thanks.
And I think it catches people. It catches people's attention. You know, my friend Riley Downs and
Love her.
Lydia Cash we played a show with them at Martyrs, and they ended up asking Hazel to open a show for Lydia immediately after hearing Hazel perform, because they were just so moved by her songs and her voice. And so I think you really got something going on,
I mean,
kid.
I'm excited to see how it keeps going.
Yeah.
So might we be able to see you on stage before you go to school?
Oh yes.
oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You say that without.
Well, I mean, I don't know the specifics, but I like I said, I used to think that I had stage fright, and now I'm excited, and I just love doing it. So.
And believe it or not, even though you're ramping up to go to college, you actually have more free time now than
That's
you
true.
did
That's true.
in prior years. So there's already been some talk of putting together some shows. So keep your eye out at hazelkrumm.com.
Yep.
There it is. There's the marketer. Just so you know, you probably don't need math for the rest of your life.
I mean, if you're
Although you were rocking at calculus, right?
yeah, calculus
According to
is.
your professor at DePaul.
Hey, don't listen to me. I went to Columbia College. I didn't have to take a math class.
See, the thing is, I have a love-hate relationship with math. It's definitely. I did a whole project in like 6th grade about math and music, so.
All right, you came to all this naturally, organically. I love that. Now, as far as live music goes, Brian Krumm and his Barfly Friends returning to Fitzgerald's, Sidebar at Fitzgerald's on May 3rd.
May 3rd. Yes, 2 sets usually.
There are so many wonderful venues in the city and suburbs. Can we all agree that Fitzgerald's has to be like top 5 at the least? I love that place.
It's a very special place. And there's so many times when I've just been there to see bands that I love. For a while there, I was going there every January because a guy I love, I almost idolized, Webb Wilder, would play there every January. And then I ended up playing with
Tough
him.
It Out, Human Cannonball, love that stuff.
Then I ended up opening for him. I got to meet him. He signed my guitar, and
That's awesome.
so there's a lot of crossover between the time that I just started going there and was a fan of the club to being able to actually perform there. That's been great. And you were at the Pravda Records Pravda Fest. That was a great day.
Not only was I there, Brian Krumm of Brian Krumm and his Barfly Friends, I emceed the damn thing.
You were the MC. I remember you introduced us. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for that.
Of course, that was wildly fun because there were 3 stages. They had the patio area, the sidebar, and the main stage. So I would basically walk off stage from introducing Brian Krumm, and then next thing you know, I'm running off to the main stage to introduce the Handcuffs or something.
Right.
Like I would just walk off one stage because it was just constant motion and action that day. It was the funnest day.
It was a great day.
Funnest is not a word. So, okay, Sidebar at Fitzgerald's on the 3rd. Also, you're touring Germany this year. I didn't see that one coming.
Yes, we are touring Germany. We've Hazel's actually, we toured there the last time in 2023, right after the record came out, Just Fade Away, for the Barfly Friends. And we did a combo tour that the Barfly Friends, even though it's the same band members, basically, we were the opening band for the Great Crusades, who have been touring Germany for a number of years. And yeah, we will be going back there in 2025 for 12 shows.
I've got to ask, because I have so many musicians who listen to and watch the show. How do you break in another country?
Yep, yeah. It was interesting because it was probably shortly after I moved to Chicago in 1998.
From Champaign?
From Champaign, yeah. Great town. And that's where I actually formed the Great Crusades. Some buddies of mine down there, and sort of reformed back up in Chicago in 98 with the current lineup of Chris Motor, Brian Hunt, Brian Leach, and myself.
A lot of Brians.
Yeah,
A lot of Brians.
3 Brians. The jokes that go along with that are a completely different episode of the podcast. And yeah, our first record that we put out got licensed by a small label in Germany, and they set up a tour for us. And as you might imagine, we had an amazing time and just kept going back.
Was there a lot of beer?
There was a lot of beer, yeah, a lot of great beer. Not just, because even the smaller towns, a lot of those towns have breweries in them. So
This isn't your first time hearing about your dad drinking beer, is it?
no, no, but
I toured with them. So.
Oh, there you go.
yeah, and we got the first record came out on this label called Trocadero Records, and then a bigger label, Glitter House Records. Put out the first, the second record, and then a couple after that, and then the tours kept getting a little bigger and bigger. We were on some TV shows over there, so we had a lot of success in Germany, and then sort of spread out to other countries in Europe after that, and it probably hit a high point, at some point, but we're still able to go back, every few years and.
Because it's a big undertaking.
It is. It's a lot of planning. It's a lot of I do a lot of the booking myself, a lot of the marketing and promotion myself too, and have some people helped me out in Germany with the tour management and the driving, thankfully. But it's a lot of it is a lot of work actually, but it's a lot of fun too. Absolutely a lot of fun, and a lot of music lovers, and especially we've had made a lot of great friends too, not just fans in the country of
That's
Germany.
a great story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely have some super fans.
Absolutely,
that I've met.
yeah. And some people have ended up moving to the States, and then a couple got married. Michelle and Patrick, they ended up getting married, and there's been some, there's been some love connections, that we like to think we had a hand in.
You're a connector.
So those dates will be from June 12th to the 22nd, and they're all on the website.
And then
Krumm.com.
And then when you get back, Brian, be ready. Lots of trips to Target between then and August.
Yep.
Yeah. Get ready for college.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I hope Hazel, I think I've told you this already, but Boston has a great music scene too.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm more than excited.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yes.
So in addition to playing in the Midwest, I see no reason why you shouldn't absolutely conquer the whole
not?
East Coast.
Totally agree. Well, this was cool. I appreciated the generational aspect of this conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Me
absolutely.
too.
All right, Krumm family, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.